Hi guys, this is Robert Rivera with Trend Trading Academy, and this is weekly recap. I believe this is week number 20, weekly recap number 20. And I got some interesting information to share with you, and I hope that you are paying attention to these because, as Jay says, we're giving you the game, but I'm breaking down the setups of the week, and hopefully you can see with clarity how price is moving around these zones and the importance of these zones. Okay, let's go right into it because I got a whole bunch of them. I think I got 10 of them today. So I think I'm already sharing my screen, so you should be able to see the first trade of the week was GBP CAD, and you see how it had dropped significantly past the 50 moving average, down to the zone over here, and now we can catch this going up to that 50, or it could break down even further. These candles right here seem to be indicating, all these rejections seem to be indicating they want to keep going down. But we have to have a plan whether it goes up or down. We don't want to get caught with bias, okay? So this is the first setup. Let's see what we got. Following, this is the result. Sure enough, it consolidated there for a while. This is on the 60-minute. So if this is on the 60-minute, then imagine the 30-minute, that went on for quite a while. And then it started moving to the upside. These candles right here, just like this one pointed like it wanted to go down, these candles right here are pointing a move up. This one confirms it. This could have been a great entry for the upside. But if nothing else, after it broke out, which, you know, any one of these could have been perhaps considered a breakout, maybe that one. But this is the real breakout, right? And either you took this retest here or you took this retest here, and on up it went for 76 pips, zero drawdown, because again, we had a retest right at the zone where we want it. And what I want you to see again is how price reacts around these zones. The reason why you know you have drawn your zone correctly is because price is having a hard time breaking out of it. That should give you confirmation that what you have drawn out is good, okay? That was the first trade of the week. That same day I sent, I sent GU, which has been my pet pair now for a couple months. And also, same situation, it had dropped significantly, right? And now we have it trapped. It even gave us a nice little trend line here that we could use for an early entry to the downside if it breaks it, or you could also use it as a bounce to the upside if it reacts. Like again, if price comes down and then starts wicking back up, as it goes back up, you can take it as a bounce from there and move on up. All right, and this is what we ended up with following. Sure enough, it came down. This is what I was talking about earlier. It came down, it broke the trend line, and then it wicked back up. Once it got into here, that was a nice buy up. You could have gotten that for an early entry going up all the way to the 50. And again, look how it reacted at the 50. That 50 moving average is no joke, guys. So that's 48 pips to the upside, zero drawdown, because this is the break and this is the retest, and it went all the way up to there for 48 pips. And then after it broke the trend line, perhaps that was a retest. I'm not looking for a retest when it breaks the trend line, guys, because it could just keep going. And so sure enough, it came all the way down here for 36 pips to, after the break of the trend line. I did not count anything after that. I'm not sure if it bounced back up or not. That was the 24th. The 25th, I sent a GBP odd, GBP AUD, and same concept. I think I sent the GBP, well, it says NZD, but it's really odd, as you can tell over here. I miswrote that. Because of all the pairs that I saw, this is the day, I think this day price had already broken up. I started moving up. This is the trend line from the 4-hour, and they have bounced off of the trend line. That's another reason why you can tell if you're drawing your trend lines correctly. You see how price continues to bounce off of it, all right? So that's for you, those of you who want to do some back testing. We see it rejecting already here in the 50 moving average, but again, we're ready for either way it goes. We also take notice of the golden zone above, but again, we're not concerned about any of that. All we do is trap price between 2 points and wait for the breakout, all right? I was a little concerned about sending this one because as you can tell, I mean, from the time it came back into the zone, that's only a couple of candles. So I was wondering if that would get you in trouble, but let's see what happened, okay? That was on the 25th. This is the result. So sure enough, it kept bouncing off of that. I put this on the 4-hour so you can more clearly see the retest. It broke out. If you go back in time, it did break out on the earlier time frame, and also retested on the earlier time frame. But on the earlier time frame, there was a lot of jagged movement in here until it finally made a move to the upside for the 36 pips. Depending on where you entered, you had a 0 to 10 pip drawdown. But I wanted to show you the bigger picture so you can see. I constantly go back and forth between the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and my time frame where I'm looking to enter, so I can keep an eye on the bigger picture. Sometimes the movement of the candles can give you insight into what's going on. For example, once you had this move to the upside from the down here, it's so strong, and then this 4 hour candle came all the way down here and started wicking, 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 wicking back up. Man, that's a powerful entry right there, right above the 50. All right. Um, those are the kind of things that I want you to be catching, because these kind of price action movements is what gives you the edge. When it comes to edge in the market, you become your own edge. The more you learn price action, the more you are the edge. Somebody asked me about a trade that I did here on Friday, because all I needed was $154 to reach my weekly goal. So I was intent on just getting that. I didn't want to risk losing after having a great week, right? So I was only looking for that. And I put a $20 lot size right here. As I had a zone. This is the ultimate zone. I created this zone afterwards for you guys, but my original zone was down here with a high right there. My high was right there, right there. And the trend line was right on it. As it broke down below the trend line, I entered. I entered there and it gave me 5 pips, I think. It gave me like 5 pips. And then it started coming back up. Like you can see on this one, it started coming back up. When I realized it was not going to give me the continuation to the downside, I went ahead and closed it. Okay. And sure enough, immediately it busted right up. I took 2 small positions right here as it broke to the top, and took profit along the way, and was able to close my week, having met my goal. But my point in pointing this out to you is learning to read price action. Okay, when it became obvious to me that it was not going to continue down, all it did was bounce off of this 8 exponential, started moving back up. I closed it. I closed it. It was only a 3 pip profit, but I closed it. There's no sense in watching it go all the way over here and then cry that, oh, it went against me. If you learn to read price action, you can take advantage of these. That's really what I wanted to show you on that one. But somebody had asked about it, and I wanted to point out how important it is to know price action. When you combine price action with the 50 moving average and the zone, knowing how price moves in the zone, you're gonna get this, and it's gonna click for you. Okay. Let's keep going. That was the 25th. I also sent you on the 25th. Did I already share that? No, this is a new one. I sent this early because I saw it was already breaking out. It's like, oh crap, it's already breaking out. I thought we're gonna miss this. It's gonna miss this completely, right? But the golden zone not being active yet, I thought might help us be able to still catch something here. So I sent it out anyway. And perhaps I also thought that perhaps it could reject here and provide us an opportunity for a sell. Let's see what we ended up with. This is on the 25th. And so this is what ended up happening. It broke to the top side, fake. Well, is this a 30, 60 minute? This is a 60 minute. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't count these over here, so I'm not sure what we ended up with this here. I should have taken a little better attention to this to see what happened here. I don't have that. I don't have information on this trader here. Well, I guess because the setup went out with this candle. The setup went out with this candle, so it was already out. That's right. It was already out. It had already broken above. I'm just waiting to see if we can catch some sort of retest or something. And so sure enough, it broke back in. This is the zone, right? This is the breakout line. And then it gave the retest, gave you the wick. That's the wick that we're always looking for. That's the one that gave you the entry if you wanted it. 82 pips, break with retest, the retest being this right here, 0 drawdown. Okay, yeah, this is one that went out late. It had already broken all this through here. And we were just trying to see if we could catch the retest, and there it is. It was beautiful. That was the 25th. Let's see, the 26th, I also sent out GAUD again. Let's see, where is it? GAUD, is that the one? Yep. It rejected at that top golden zone, which is now active, and came back in. And now basically we have been within the same zones. I think I might have redrawn the zones a little bit to make it more, a little more accurate. But we're ready either way. Again, going up or going down, we're ready. And this is what we ended up with. All it gave us really, all it gave us as a breakout to the top was 18 pips. Break and retest with a 5 pip drawdown if you were counting, if you happen to enter right at the line and it went down, right? Because this one also gave us a wick. So it's possible that you entered here for this one. Although this one obviously was a little clearer one as to it going back up. So it gave us 18 pips there. But what I wanted to point out on this one, which is why I drew these on the bottom, these wicks right here are telling you buys. Every retest of the trend line and the bottom zone paid out. Every retest of it, boom, paid out 21 pips. Boom, paid out 48 pips. Boom, paid out 31 pips. Excuse me, so far because that candle looked like it was going to keep going up. Again, price action trading. I'm writing these down not because they're part of the setup, but because I want you to be learning how price moves and you can take advantage of that. All right. That was JVP AUD on the 26th. Let's go to GU also on the 26th. This was a nice setup. I like it when it's this clear. It had been climbing, right? GU had been climbing. We have it over the 50. Look at that candle right there over the 50. That's a bullish move. But now it's consolidating a little bit. All right. We see how it cannot go above this and above that. We have the golden zone above, which could be an area of concern. But again, not much concern. In a situation like this, you wait for the breakout, catch the retest, that kind of thing. All right. This is what we ended up afterwards with a break to the bottom of the trend line. Okay, it broke to the bottom of the trend line. We gave us 31 pips on the trend line break. And then that wick again, price action, as I was telling you. Perfect rejection candle for an early entry. This would have been a perfect, beautiful entry. Not necessarily here, but once it climbed to 50. That would have been a nice early one. You got 66 pips. That was so far because I think it kept going. If this GU, yeah, we know it went to the moon. And then the break with no retest. I'm not counting this as a retest, even though it's retesting at the golden zone, because what I wanted to see was a retest down here. Again, sometimes you don't get an opportunity to catch these above this zone. Sometimes the bottom zone is the place where you can take advantage of it. All right, that was on the 26th. On the 27th, switched it a little bit and went back to GCAD because I saw the nice consolidation and I thought it could give us a good not early breakout, but a good opportunity for a clear breakout. You know, I wanted to say to Jay, he was dissing my GCAD in his training on Monday because it moves so slow. And it does move slower. GCAD moves slower, but I think that's also good for the new trader. It gives them a little more opportunity to see. In the end, you still get a whole bunch of pips, as you're going to see here. This was GCAD on the 27th. This is a result of it. Let's see. A break to the bottom was 38 pips. Then after the retest, you got 22 pips. When it broke to the top, you got 37 pips. No retest on that one because it came right back in. 48 pips after it broke the bottom once again, and then it gave you another retest for 33 pips. So whether you were a breakout trader or a retest trader, you were able to take advantage of this. The breakout trader got an additional 37 pips went above. It paid out nicely. That was GBP CAD. Let's see. Also on the 27th, we have GBP USD. And this one I drew a wedge because I went back far enough to see that the wedge pattern was pretty clear on the 1 hour. Actually, it was clear on the 4 hour, I believe, but I'm trying to narrow it down so you guys can see it here in the 1 hour and be able to take advantage of it. And even though it's been bullish, it keeps pushing up. And I'm going to talk about that more in the weekly review, but it keeps pushing back up. I mean, further up. And this is what we ended up with following. And sure enough, it broke to the top. It gave us two nice breaks. It gave us a break to the bottom of 32 pips, no retest. This candle right here, again, price action, rejection from the golden zone, rejection from the trend line is a nice move up. So it called that 69 pips. Look at this, how it did it again. Bounced back here again twice, in fact, and then went back up. Another opportunity. Again, price action trading is it's the best way to go. Once you learn it, again, you become your own edge, which is what I want you to become. Okay, and then the last trade of the week was that was sent out in the setups was GBP odd, which was this. I was trying to find one. I didn't really want to even send this one. I wasn't going to send any. None of them looked good. But of all the not so great looking ones, GBP odd was the one that looked the best. It had already broken to the downside. We have a clear trend line. If it breaks the top and it breaks the 50 and breaks the trend line, perhaps we get a strong bullish move. But we're also ready for the continuation to the downside if it keeps going down. All right. And this is what we ended up with. We ended up with again, I just drew these out so you guys could see them. This nice rejection candles giving you potentially early entry. Again, price action trading at its finest. And then once it broke, again, look at it. We didn't get a retest down here, but it was showing us up here already. This broke back in, this retested, dropped. This came back and retested the 50, dropped. So sometimes, again, you got to catch it on the opposite end if you want to catch the big move of the retest, because sometimes it doesn't retest once it broke it out if it has strong momentum to the downside. So 75 pips, break, no retest, and I wrote here it may be retesting for not for a greater drop, and by the end of the day, it did break to the bottom. But it's the end of the day, the end of the weekend. I don't recommend anybody at the time of the day to get into it unless you're going to swing it into tomorrow, okay? And then finally, I sent this on the, let me see, do I have it? That was the after. I sent this in the community, and I sent it in the community only because I didn't want to send a regular setup and then have people be focused all night on something on a Friday night that may not work, okay? And I was already done. I wasn't going to be following this. But after seeing the breakout to the upside, I saw this consolidation and I thought, oh, wow, this looks pretty. I mean, if you take notice of it, this is a 15-minute. So there's not a lot of candles here if you're doing the 30-minute or the 1 hour. All I saw, well, again, was the price action, how price was reacting in here. And I thought, my gosh, that's really, really tight. I mean, that's an easy win. Whichever way it goes is an easy win because of how tight it is. So I put it in the community, which again, that's just to encourage people who are in the community to stay in the community. And those of you who are not in the community to come and view the community, because I'm going to keep posting things in the community that are valuable. Okay. And this is the result. I think we have it afterwards. I mean, look at this. It broke out. It gave a beautiful retest. It went on forever. Gave you another retest here in case you didn't catch this move to the upside. 93 pips break with no retest. I mean, with zero drawdown. I mean, that was just fantastic. And again, look how it climbed from the R1, which is another reason why I put that there, because it was at the R1, resistance 1, and then it went straight to the R2. Powerful. We ended up with 15 possible trades on 10 setups for 785 total pips. That was the averages is 52 pips per trade. 52 pips per trade. Again, we're averaging that every week, 50 pips per trade. Zero failed retests, which is nice. Again, we didn't have any retests that didn't continue. We did have some that did not retest. And we had some who did not give us a retest because it came back into, but there were no retests that once it gave you the retest, it failed. So that's nice. And again, that's 52 pips per trade. So let's go now to the weekly predictions, if you want to call it that. Let's share the screen one more time. All right, here we go. And let's start with GU. If we look at the weekly GU, guys, again, that trend line that's been solid there and not broken since 2014 was finally broken. And then the zone of resistance was broken. This zone also had been respected since 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2019 end of it, again here in 2020, and now it broke, okay? We've been talking about this because it was creating higher lows. And so we were anticipating that once it broke above, perhaps it will continue. I think this could, now that it broke to the top here, be showing us reversal. Also, the fact that the the Fed has spoken about allowing inflation to continue moving up, that devalues the dollar, which means gold is going to keep going up. We're going to talk about that too. But any pair that has that has USD as part of it, like in this case GBP USD, the the other pair, in this case GBP, is going to be pushing it up. All right. So you can anticipate that GBP USD is going to continue climbing if inflation is allowed to keep going, as the Fed said they are. So it broke to the top. You can anticipate that that's going to continue to the top. Let's see what else we got. We got GBP NCD. GBP NCD. I talked about this last week. I've been talking about this for quite a while about where the zone may be, where it might reject. Right here, I was predicting it could come all the way to the top over here for 300 pips. Well, it went 280 and then it dropped. I think it did complete the head and shoulders that we see there. Left shoulder, right head. This could be the shoulder now coming back down. And the stochastic is also at the very top, which is kind of respects that stochastic from forever. So we can anticipate that perhaps this is going to be bearish, retesting again the trend line, perhaps, or finding some other level of support along the way. I think that's the closest level of support is here close to the trend line. So if this could drop for a little while. In fact, we have an evening star right there. And this follows also what's been going on with GA. I think GA may be going down too, but I did not analyze GA today. Let's see, GBP CAD. Let's go to the CAD and see. Also, GCAD, as we mentioned before, has been creating these higher lows, another higher low. I talked about this wedge and how it may continue to do this until it breaks out. Well, it looks like it broke out. It's going to be pushing against this zone over here. This is not a golden zone. This is just supply and resistance. Okay, so we're going to see it, I think, in this coming week. We're going to see it pressing against that and perhaps breaking it. If it breaks it, look for a retest and a big move to the upside, because GBPs are trying to catch up for all the losses from before. And finally, gold. Had gold pegged for quite a while back. I mean, I don't know how far this is. Let's see. This is 2011. 2011, it had not broken this level. It is an all-time high, but now it not only broke the level, it came back and retested it. It was a nice wick to the upside, still closed negative. It was another retest, closed negative. Now it's giving us a retest, and it is green. So again, because of inflation being high, the value of the dollar going down, I anticipate gold could break to the top side. That's 1,000 points to the high. 1,000 points to the high. It could go to 2,100. It could go to 2,100. And that is all I got for you today. I hope that you found this informative. And if there's anything else that I can add to the weekly recap that may be of assistance to you, please do not hesitate to ask. Also, my main concern and my main intent on doing this is that you can see how the zones work and how they work consistently. I mean, they just, I mean, I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now, and I've been sending out setups for, I guess, yeah, close to 1.5 years. And it's never changed, guys. It has never changed. It consistently bounces off of them or breaks them. If it breaks them, retest them and goes. Sometimes you do get the fake outs, which again was why it's important that you read the price action. Okay, again, this is Robert Rivera, Return Training Academy. Again, I hope that you found value in this. God bless you.